Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to the Moon Sliver. I have other games I want to play. I'm not going to lie to you. I have a selection of video games that I want to get around to on this channel. And right now I sat down and I couldn't be bothered to start any of them. So instead, I looked through my library and I found this little gem. It's a walking simulator. I know that because I read the reviews at the time I bought it. It's a very cheap walking simulator. It cost me less than £1 sterling, and it had very good reviews. Walking simulators, I tend to find, can either be very, very good and thought-provoking and meaningful and have a powerful narrative and be something that really sticks with you, or just be an excuse for lazy developers to let you walk around in a big open field. So I can't wait to find out which way this one goes, but as I say, based on the reviews alone, this might be something that might be something. So, if you hear any strange lip-slapping noises, by the way, I currently have a dog perched on my lap. He was just licking my keyboard, and now he's yawning. He's massively in the way, but I'm going to try and play this game anyway, and thankfully, due to the fact that it is, as previously mentioned, a simulator of walking, we should be okay, hopefully. It's a game by David, something Polish sounding, sorry, I'm not even going to try that. Click the title to begin. The Moon Sliver is intended to be completed in a single setting. There is no save system. It is suggested you set aside an hour to complete it. Well, that's perfect, because that's what I always do. I always set aside an hour to play video game. Move, jump, flashlight, interact exam. Okay, so it has more controls than you generally get in one of these games. It has controls. It's not pure walking. There is examining and flashlighting as well. Can't examine the pair of wooden wrenches. Oh no, one's like a concrete wrench and one's a wooden wrench. It's an interesting material to use for a wrench, but that, as they say, is life. Or the text is saying something to me, but it's also overlapping with the previous text. So there we go. Conserve your flashlight battery. Oh, okay. Recharge it at power outlets. Explore freely. Stop trying to confuse me. Do I explore freely, or do I conserve my flashlight battery? Which do I do? Recharge it at power outlets. Explore freely. Piece the story together. When night falls, enter the mountain. Alright, I don't need my flashlight out here, so that's something. Also, I move at a decent pace. That's also something. I like that I move at a decent pace. That makes me a little bit more content. So, immediately I noticed that we have no hard and fast directions. We have some stuff. The night was wild and cold. The monstrous tracks leading from the hatch were brand new, but the wind quickly erased them. I didn't even see the tracks, I'm not going to lie to you. Can I? Seems like I can't go in here. Fair enough. Maybe once we find a wrench, we'll be able to get into that hatch. Come back when night falls. Okay, that's where we go when night falls. I get you. I get you. So is this going to be like a multiple endings sort of deal? Depending on what we do during the day, different things will happen when night falls. Is that how this is going to go down? Because that could be something. That could be something indeed. About this door. Oh, we can go in here. I'm saying that she knows more than she's telling us, said Ellie. Who is she? And what does she know? My problem is that she's a liar, said Ellie angrily, fiddling with the knobs and the machine as she paced around, and that I have to keep explaining this to you over and over again. You don't know her like I know her. Exactly. You're not an impartial judge, he said. Knife. What's your problem with Isa? The General said, putting his book down. He was annoyed that he was interrupted here. I think this bit goes before. I'm saying that she knows more than she's telling us. Yeah, okay, right, okay. And then they had the argument about this. Right, I see. It's very weird how text seems to be based on your location in the room. I think that's an interesting one. It's not, you don't often see that. Normally you actually have to interact with something to make text appear, and this can cause some weird overlappy stuff, which doesn't really work out quite as you'd like it. She sat, I didn't even read the first one. Isa kept a smile on her face, although she did not feel like smiling. She sat down beside the flashlight. What about Ellie? Has Ellie mentioned anything to you, she said. She didn't take it either, he said. Nor did I, nor did Abel, she said. And yet it's gone. Daniel, you're the last one I gave the key to, said Isa. Daniel stared at the mysterious control panels. He didn't meet her eyes. He never met anyone's eyes. I didn't take it, he said. Why would I take it? I'm the one that told you it was missing. Daniel is pretty sus right now, honestly. Seems like Daniel maybe took the key and got Ellie and Isa to play off against one another their mutual feelings of distrust. But what did he do with the key? What did you do with the key, Daniel? Eh? What did you do with it? Where did you put the key? Mysterious liquid had drained from the tank and into the water long ago. This place was a forest once. I beg to differ, honestly. Isa could remember the glorious living trees barely. Does she mean... Did it mean this entire area was a forest once, or just this patch of trees? Because I don't think 3 trees ever constituted a forest in anyone's mind. It doesn't even constitute a park. It doesn't even constitute a garden, really. Right. Let's see what's over this direction. I don't know, we're getting snippets of story. Oh, we've got little housey things here. I'm kind of interested as to what's up this mountain, though. We'll come back to the housey things once we've had a look up here. This is clearly something, right? You're clearly something. Oh, is that a power outlet? Does that mean I've recharged my torch? I assume so. I assume that's what that means. Hard to say, really. There's not like a battery remaining UI element anywhere or anything. They could make more candles, they couldn't make more wood, so Abel burned candles. Where does wax come from? How do you make wax? Can't get in there yet, need a key. Abel read to escape, Daniel read to feed his lofty strange thoughts, Isa read to pass the time, but Ellie, as far as Abel knew, she hadn't opened a book in years. What did she do all day? He didn't know. Sometimes he worried about her. He worried about all of them. Were they as melancholy as he was? Ooh, okay. There is an evil man on this island, and I know him well. We played together as youths. We have cried together. We have eaten together. We have loved the same women, betrayed the same women. He is my constant companion and my worst enemy. He puppets my arms, legs, and mouth to his own selfish ends and secretly hurts everyone I love as I watch, helpless, with their unshed, unfelt blood on my hands. He gifts my flesh with indescribable pleasures and blights my soul with unutterable despair. His name is Sin, and we are irrevocably bound together. Surely there exists no hell worse than this. Okay, so from what we can tell, this was Abel's little shack, and he was a bit of a melodramatic fellow. Didn't seem to like Ellie much because she didn't read. Thought Daniel was perhaps a bit pretentious. Seems like none of these people really liked each other very much, really. She took the knife from the shelf. The blade was dull and rusty, but it was still pointed. She was not smiling. Isa could not talk to Abel about her feelings because Abel was overburdened with his own, so she often sat at her desk and wrote. She did not know who would ever read her papers, but there was something profound and preserving thoughts, so that they would live long after there was nobody around to read them. Key! Is that for the lockbox in Abel's room, I wonder? Or is it for this? It's not for that. Okay, let's just double check the lockbox in here real quick. Nope. I don't think I have, no. I don't think I have access to inventory or anything. I guess if I have the key, then clicking on things that it unlocks will work. At least I'm assuming that's how this is all going to go down. Whose house is this, and why was his chair so big? Or her chair. It's either Ellie or Daniel, right? What were you and Abel doing at this house yesterday when I was climbing the mountain? He answered, casually flipping through the book on her table. It was covered in dust. Okay, this is Ellie's house then. Ellie was laying on the bed. Daniel came in. She scowled at him suspiciously and beautifully. What were you and Isa doing in the old power building? What were you talking about? Okay, it seems like perhaps Daniel and Ellie were an item, and both massively mistrustful of one another. Abel often visited Daniel. He loved to talk, and Daniel loved to listen. Isa and I were out for a walk, said Abel when he entered. I thought I'd stop by before you got caught up in a book. Daniel put his book down. Hello, he said. His expression confused Abel. Daniel stared at the pile of wood. He hadn't burned wood for months. Let's talk about Ellie instead. Abel was silent for a moment. What about Ellie? He said. Daniel didn't need to answer. Abel swallowed. Alright, let's talk about Ellie. Okay, so maybe Ellie was cheating on Daniel with Abel? I don't know. Oh, hello, there's something up here as well. Daniel took down the dead flashlight and replaced it with a fully charged one, listening to Abel talk and thinking unrelated thoughts. He preferred the sharp illumination of flashlights to the dimness of flame. Oh. Is that it? Is it night time? Everything's got a bit more oppressive suddenly. I feel a bit more oppressed suddenly. Daniel sat with Ellie under the tree, his arm around her. I mean, there doesn't seem to be much else to do or see, really. Another one of these. The door had rusted shut and it would never open. Damn, this music is, it's giving me sensations. I'm having sensations right now. I assume I can't go out in the water. I've not tried, but I assume I can't, because there's a couple more buildings, like, underwater over there. Oh, I guess I can. Oh, not far, though. Okay, there's a hard limit on that. Was this the house I started in? I'm not sure anymore. Yesterday 4 people lived on this island. Now only 1 remains. Oh yeah, this was the house I started in, alright. There was nothing to... Ah! Isa was the oldest, and if not the wisest, certainly the most learned. She remembered when Hosea still lived, and she would sit on this crate and listen to his stories. Those memories, like so many others, were bittersweet. Daniel was please stop doing that. Daniel was a quiet man who spent his life lost in books of old, or lost in his own thoughts. He wondered where the barrels had come from and who had put them there. We get a little backstory on each of them here, right? Ellie was a sullen and beautiful girl, the youngest of all of them, with a mind unfit for lofty thoughts. She had once come in here to see if there were any old firewood, otherwise she stayed in her cluttered house, where it was warm and familiar. There'll be something about Abel in here as well too, right? Abel loved Isa, and he loved Daniel and Ellie, but when his mind wasn't turned towards their well-being, it was filled with thoughts of bleak hopelessness. Sometimes he would rifle through the barrel. The promise of undiscovered trinkets raised his spirits, if only temporarily. Yesterday, 4 people lived on this island. So who am I? I guess that's what we're trying to discover here, right? Which of the 4 I am and what happened to the other 3. It seems... I'm trying to, like, understand here. What we know. Oh, this place is interesting. Daniel was still thinking about his talk with Abel the day before as he absent-mindedly picked the book up. Something caught his eye, or rather the lack of something. moon sliver was gone. A couple of documents to check out, just seeing if there's anything else in this area first. Alright, we'll go around and read them. The word of Hector the First. The moon sliver was written by the pure spring rain upon pages of dried leaves and found by noble Hector. The moon spoke to Hector, saying, "Take this, the moon sliver, and take it, and make for it a place in the chapel of infinite light, for it is a holy document. Man cannot read it, but its every letter is known to the demons of the night and greatly feared. Now that it will protect you, know that it will protect you, even should my light cease to bathe the night in holy silver. Give it a place of honor and treat it as a prized possession, for it is your greatest weapon against evil." And so Hector took the moon sliver and placed it in the chapel of infinite light upon a silver pedestal, and the night was warm with light and the day was bright with warmth. That's 4. 2. The woodland teeth, the monster of the forest, was more tenacious than the other demons. It hated the people of Hector and desired to take the island away from them. And it lurked in dark corners and unseen passageways, scheming horrific schemes. It came to pass that Ursula was taken, stalked by the woodland teeth in the dark underground, attacked and dragged down to hell. Then the moon came to Hector in a dream and said, "Hector, the time has come. Your great enemy has arrived. You would all do well to tremble, for this power is great and his depravity is unspeakable. Go, take the moon sliver from its pedestal and do battle." And so Hector went to the chapel of infinite light and retrieved the moon sliver and went into the tunnels. My torch is dying. I need to go recharge it. Hang on. Oh, it's real dark now, huh? It's real dark now. I'm not done reading yet, though. I need more time. I'll go to the mountain eventually, I promise. I just need more time. Most of the text is illegible. Hector descended, darkness, terrible whispering, infinite and deep. Did not know how long he wandered, promises of brutal torture and mutilation waiting. Begone, teeth of the forest, spoke the holy incantations written upon, returned to the surface. Seemed like he did alright then. Seems like he did what he had to do and got out. This was 4 then. Again, the moon came to Hector in a dream. The woodland teeth is vanquished, it said. Your people are safe for now, but it still waits, lurking in the depths. It fears the moon sliver, and it will not dare appear again while the holy document remains in your possession. But know this, should the moon sliver ever be destroyed, even my divine light will not be able to save you from the wrath of the woodland teeth and the darkness of hell. Keep it safe, keep it ready, and may you live in prosperity on this island that I have given you. Let your prosperity be a sign that the words I speak are true. I'll head to the mountain now. I'll do as I'm told. I feel like without the moon sliver, the woodland teeth could be about, which is quite possibly the dumbest name I've ever heard for a scary demon, but I'm sure it's very scary nonetheless, and I don't want to have to deal with it. I didn't come into this game expecting horror. I came into this game expecting a nice little jaunt around and some deep and meaningful pretentious waffle that I can get on board with. I did see some footprints, right? Originally, but not now. Okay. What do you mean come back when night falls? What do you call this then? Is this not fallen night? I guess maybe there's still something I need to see. It needs to get darker still. Okay, so what do we know? We know that someone took the moon sliver. Whoa, hang on. What was that? I want that text to pop up again. I saw some text when I was walking in this direction. I feel like I missed life, he said, like it whizzed right by while I wasn't looking, and I'm watching it disappear into the horizon, stuck in this prison. Oh, come on, she said, look out into the water, isn't it beautiful? It's lonely, he said, lonely and infinite. They reached the ruins and strolled leisurely through them towards the shoreline. Isa could remember when the old building still stood here, filled with families. My torch is going again, hold up. Was it? No, it wasn't here, it was over here, wasn't it? That's okay, I can actually see, to be fair. I'm still going to get it recharged anyway, though. So, yeah, there's this moon sliver. Someone stole it. I thought they were talking about a key at first, but I clearly just implanted that own knowledge into my own brain. Ellie thinks it was Isa. Isa thinks it was Ellie. Abel and Daniel? Is that the guy's name? I've already forgotten his name. Abel and Daniel said they needed to talk about Ellie. I'm sorry, he said. And he cried because he often cried during these talks. For what, she said. For a lot of things. So clearly a lot of people distrusted Ellie, was the point. These conversations were not new. Long ago Isa had learned to love Abel despite and for his despondency. She hugged him as the wind tossed her long grey hair around. So Abel and Isa were the older two, Daniel and Ellie were the younger two. I don't know, it's hard to really get anything here. We know, like, a bit about their personality types. We know a little bit about who they are and what they like to do in their pastimes. We know that Ellie very rarely left her room. Maybe that's something. It does sound like she was a bit unhinged, perhaps, and everyone else immediately thought it was her who stole the moon sliver. And maybe it was. Come back when night falls. I'm trying. I really am trying. I've still got that key. I don't know what it's for. I'm trying to think if there was any other places where I could use a key. I don't really feel like there was, but look at that foliage not properly sat on the floor there. Disappointing, honestly. Disappointing. It sounds like there's answers to my questions down here, but the game doesn't seem overly keen to let me go down there and have a look. There was nothing else around this tree. So I say there was an older couple and a younger couple. It seems like Ellie was maybe having an affair with Abel. Though that might just be me reading too much into it. Let's hop back inside these buildings and see if there's anything I missed in any of these. I didn't read these, did I? I remember when the moon still shined, when each night was bathed in warm silver and the shadows were mysterious and friendly and the island was a place of joy. That was many years ago. Since it disappeared, this place has become cold and stark, plagued by an inexplicable sense of loss and despondency. Daniel and Ellie were young. They do not feel it, but they don't remember what the world used to be like. But Abel and I do, and we're both filled with longing for intangible joys that it can no longer provide. Our friends that do not exist. Our friends that do not... Oh, well, our longing for the friends that do not exist, my bad. For feelings that cannot be reasonably felt. When I was younger, I smiled because I felt like smiling. Now that smile is a disguise. This is Isa's writings. I believe the word of Hector and the religious teachings that were passed on to me. Maybe the moon is still out there, hidden behind some cloud of darkness. And maybe the ones who went before us were waiting there. There's no way to know. We have to wait for death to find out. And truth be told, I'm ready. I'm ready for the beginning of a new adventure. Ooh, that doesn't paint her well, does it? she took a knife from the shelf. Yeah, she was not smiling. It does seem like maybe Isa's to blame here. A lot of things pointing at Isa. Is it night time now? We're going to the other smoking building. I can't remember if these two were smoking before, or if I just didn't notice it, or... This was Ellie, right? I'm sure... I don't know if those notes were there or not, is the thing. I don't know if I just completely missed them, or if they were new. It's just nothing in here, is there? It does sort of seem to me like Isa was just done with the new life that they have, and did some sort of ritual sacrifice thing. Just killed everyone else off. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting, what with her grabbing her knife and all that stuff. Yeah, Abel obviously wrote all that about himself, but all signs definitely point to Isa being the bad person here. Clearly wanted to not like... Ah, okay. Need to press those in the right order, I suppose. Don't know what that order would be, though. Right. So, what do we know? We know Ellie was young and a bit closed off, and very rarely left her house, and didn't really believe the teachings, and was into Daniel, and possibly also into Abel. We know Daniel had big dreams and big ideas, and did a lot of reading. We know Abel was a bit more religious and spiritual, perhaps, and didn't think very highly of himself. And we know that Isa along with Abel, had been here a very long time and kind of wanted it all to end. Anything we can do with like these individually? Not really. Not really. I think I've read this one. The rusted junk cast shadows against the opposite wall. How do you know Abel didn't take it? He said. Because I trust him, she said. He's a dismal man, but he'd never hurt any of us. Do you trust Ellie? Daniel didn't answer immediately. I trust all of you, he said. Because that's how we have to live. She keeps the chapel locked. She's the only one with the key, said Ellie, leaning on the barrels and folding her arms. Are you saying she took it? He said. Ah, was the key for the chapel then? Could I not get in there until I picked that key up? It'd help if I, like, investigated things properly the first time I came to places, wouldn't it? I don't know. There's definitely a way into there, and I definitely need some sort of hint as to how to do it. And apparently it's still not nighttime. I am a fool who thinks it's nighttime when it's not, evidently. I was misled by, you know, the blackness of the sky and all. Give me that juice. Thank you. I think by the laws of video game progression, right? We found a key in one house which opened up. I'm assuming that key opened up the chapel. That means the chapel is the sort of most advanced point of progress at this point. Which says to me that if there's more progress to be made, it needs to be done in the chapel. I think we're going to find a key, not a literal key, but a figurative key to what order to press those buttons in here somewhere. Possibly like encoded in the texts. Didn't see this one. O world, O prison dingy white, O ghastly shadow grey, your whelming lies of false delight are dark and cold on moonlit night, and bleak as sunless day. O world, O prison dingy white, O ghastly shadow grey, your whelming lies of false delight are dark and cold on moonless night, and bleak on sunless day. I feel like if anything was going to be a secret clue to what we have to do, it was going to be that poem. I mean, obviously there's four of these here, and there's 4 buttons to press. So I mean, we could press them like 1, 4, 2, 3, because that's like the sort of clockwise order that you come to them. That seems very obtuse. I feel like it'll be more like some code hidden in the words itself. Oh, I was just telling my dogs to shut up, and then my torch started flickering. What a waste of good torch that was. Has it got darker as a result of reading that note? Also, it's interesting that those windows in there let light in when they're not windows on this side. And also, you know, it's nighttime out here. We'll try 1423 for the code for getting into the hatch, but I really don't think that's it. I think I'm being an idiot. That seems both too simple and too obtuse to be the answer. But then this is an obscure Steam game, so simple and obtuse might just be the answer after all. Damn it. I tried. Is this door open now? I feel like we must have read everything now. Nope, okay. Fuck. Fuck. Why do I have to be so dumb? Why can't I be a smart person who understands... Oh, hello, what's this? There were no spiderwebs on the skeletal remains. The last of the spiders died years ago. Even the spiders are dead? What were these people living on? Like, they've got no farming... like, agriculture stuff. Are they just eating these bits of scrub grass? What was that bit about we're old? Have I seen that one before? We're old, Isa, said Abel, and we're getting older. We've been getting older since we were born, said Isa. She was always smiling. Abel never smiled. I feel like, yeah, I feel like I miss life. I remember that bit. Shit. Shit. Something just isn't quite falling into place for me here. Has the rain filled this up now? It wasn't raining when we started, right? No. Okay. Good to know. Relevant information. These skeletons were all that remained. A damp tangle of trees and foliage, free to run wild and unkempt. Didn't read the other two trees initially. I can go around here. Is this some... Ah, I can't go around here. I could almost go around there. And the game slapped me down for being such a fool. I don't know, it's been nighttime for most of this playthrough now. And I still haven't like got any sort of gist as to what I'm missing. I've got those two lock boxes, right? I've got those two lock boxes which I can't get into. I've got the metal hatch. There's another metal hatch over here that I think is said was rusted shut, so I assume I literally just can't get in that one. There are buttons, but yeah, I can't even interact with it. I can just press the buttons. Just press the buttons for fun. I mean, maybe I have to press all the buttons on here and press all the buttons on the other one. That seems unlikely though. Let's do another tawdy houses, I suppose. I feel like that box over there is somehow something, but I can't get near it. She glared at him. I'm going to get wood, she spat. Did you think I was too stupid to know? He said. I'm going to get wood. Like an erection. Every time I find like a bit of text I missed, I'm constantly wondering, A, if it was there before and I just missed it, or if it's actually something new that I'm discovering. And also B, if it's like I've now finally ticked the last box required to get into the mountain building. Hasn't been any like true indication. There's another key there. Hey! Isa didn't know what the object was, but she remembered her father tinkering with it in his workshop when she was but a girl. The workshop and the adjoining home were now far underwater. She was not a young woman, but even now seeing it brought her comfort. Abel came in. How do I get into storage? She asked. She shut and locked the box. I've told you before, she said. I forgot, he said. I don't go there very often. Press the first 3 until they click. Leave the 4th alone, she said. Now we're talking. Was it just that, like, I picked this key up and then left before opening this box with it, and then it reset? Was that the issue? Who cares? I know how to get in now. I'm just going to recharge my torch real quick, because I'm assuming it's going to be real dark down there. I'm assuming that's going to be a real dark place to be. Thank you. So what do you think? What do you think, people? Was I really dumb there? Was I just missing something really obvious? Or was that an understandable mistake to make? First 3 until they click. Leave the 4th alone. Oh boy, okay. I can charge here, so that's going to be useful. Might have to come back here, depending on how big this area is. It's pretty spooky. It's pretty spooky shit. Ellie was uneasy. The darkness had never felt this menacing before. It seemed alive. Watchful. It seemed like a fucking maze. How is this storage? The code was long forgotten. Nobody had been below in many years. Press the first 3 until they click. It's really easy. Oh, okay. You can't blame me for trying. Ellie? Daniel's voice echoed around the tunnels. Silence. Oh, Ellie came down here and went missing, I guess? She couldn't explain the feeling. It was as though something was lurking around every corner, staying out of sight, staying ahead of her. Daniel heard soft scratching footsteps behind him. He turned and shined his flashlight down the tunnel. Nothing. It's the... whatever they called that thing. The teeth trees. The teeth trees. Kind of want to know what was left at that previous T-junction, but whatever. We're just going to stick with going hard right every time. That doesn't work out for us, so we've got plenty of other options. Okay. Know that I've always gone right where possible. Should make it easier to find my way out again. More boxes of switches. Oh, something happened there. I saw some text for a second. She'd never felt like this before. She knew these tunnels well. She'd been down here hundreds of times, yet she was lost. Lost, confused and afraid. Because the moon sliver was gone. Because ice had doomed you all. That's why. That's why it was bad suddenly. Believe me, I know these things. I'm an expert on moon sliver lore. Hit me up. I'll be doing moon sliver lore videos. I'll be like the Vati Vidya of moon sliver. Moon sliver conspiracy. Was Abel actually a twin? Did he have a brother called Cain? He called again. Ellie? Still no answer. But he heard the footsteps again. Always right. Just gonna... Oh, I thought it was gonna join up. I thought it was just gonna be a big circle. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He didn't even have time to cry out as the shadow silhouetted in his flashlight beam, lunging towards him. I guess that's what happened to Daniel. He came looking for Ellie and got eated by the shadow. Possibly Isa, honestly. We don't know if there was actually a monster or if it was just Isa down here with her knife and her fake smile. It does sound like Isa was just a bit of a psychopath, honestly. But yeah, I think we can cross Daniel off the list of who I am, which of the 4 was remaining at the end of the night. Oh. That's a fun noise. She felt its breath before she felt its claws, and then she was gone. That's presumably Ellie. Ellie came down here, got monstered. Daniel came looking for Ellie, got monstered. So are we Abel, or are we Isa? Is the monster Isa? And I'm Abel. That's my current thoughts. That's my current pitch for how this all went down. We seem to have reached the end of this anyway. There was a few turn-offs we never explored, so I guess I'll try and look into them on the way back. I guess maybe we just return to the surface now and we can go inside the mountain door. Only one way to find out, isn't there? walk all the way back again. Yeah, there was a turn. I think there's only one turn off I never explored, actually. Here. This one right here, this left turn. Probably just a dead end, isn't it? Oh no, there is more. Quite a bit more, apparently. What's in here? Anything? A family of rats lived amid the crates of dried food. They were perhaps the last animals left alive. Okay, so they had crates of food. They were living off, like, old supplies for literally years. They're like, that one Brendan Fraser movie where him and his family go in a bunker and he spends his entire life underground. I can't remember what it was called. It was really bad, though. Like most Brendan Fraser movies, unfortunately. The dude didn't have a great track record. I feel like we've seen everything we came to see here. I hope I don't have to go back down there again because it's quite a walk. Ah, the night was wild and cold. I think maybe we are now ready to go inside. I think maybe, yeah, return to the mountain. So I shall. As I couldn't remember the last time she'd been under the mountain, there was no reason to come here. She had looked everywhere else. She clutched the old knife in her right hand. Yesterday the moon sliver went missing. Today Ellie, Daniel and Abel were all nowhere to be found. She knew the world of Hector by heart. The sinister implications were not lost on her. Okay! Plot twist! So she didn't grab the knife until after Ellie and Daniel were dead. We know Ellie and Daniel died down in the storage. So Abel stole the sliver and killed them both? Right, I didn't even read that out. Ellie, she called. Daniel? Abel? Abel heard her and answered, I'm here. There was something strange about his voice, something Isa didn't like. What are you doing here? Yeah, it was Abel. I would be so bad at mystery solving. I really would. I had it 100% pinned on Isa. I'm reading of ages past, he said. He sounded like such a nice, chill dude. Do you know where Ellie and Daniel are? She said. I do not, he said. They are missing, she said. They are missing and the moon sliver is missing. Do you understand me? Do you understand what this implies? I do, he said. Night will fall in a few hours. We need to stick together. We can sleep in the same house, mine or yours. We'll keep the fire burning. We'll keep the door locked. And we will pray, Abel. We will pray to the unseen moon for mercy and protection. Are you happy here, Isa? We can't stay in the dark. It thrives in the dark. Are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. Please, Abel. There were tears in his eyes, and he struggled to control his voice. Isa, I know you. I know every inch of you. I know every corner of your mind. You aren't happy. None of us are happy. Isa didn't respond. I'm staying here. The tears were flowing freely now. I would like it if you stayed with me. Isa, please stay with me. I will find you, Abel. I let it out, Isa. I destroyed the moon sliver. Isa was shocked and silent. So maybe Abel didn't actually kill them. There actually was a monster. I thought the monster was like a folklore-y thing, and then it was just that whoever destroyed the sliver was also doing the stabbing. But yeah, he let out the monster in order for it to kill everyone. I burned it yesterday after I talked with Daniel. Her eyes were filling with betrayed, angry tears. What, Abel? No. Why? Do you want to be dragged to hell? Do you want us to be dragged there with you? We're already in hell. This island, this horrible, barren, lonely island, this place of sin, this is hell. I saw the blasphemous scraps of paper Jeremiah found those many years ago. I read them before they were destroyed. Perhaps I was the only one who did, and I did not believe them. I have lived life since then, and I have seen the truth of their words. Isa could not respond, and tears streamed down her face. She kept walking towards the sound of his voice, the knife clutched in her hand. You did not read the blasphemous scraps, Isa, but I did, and I remember them with incredible clarity. Supernatural clarity, even. Fear not the dark shadows or the scratches in the night, for the woodland teeth is your salvation, it is your escape. It said this, and more, Isa. The Woodland Teeth is not here to take us to hell, it's here to take us away from hell. She could see him ahead, her flashlight beam cutting through the sickly fog. Mine sure doesn't anymore. He was sitting in a chair, a book on his lap, and as she approached, she could see that he was crying too. I believe the word of Hector, she said, and I will not go to hell. Please trust me. Please. I believe the word of Hector, she said again, and she put the knife to her chest, point first. No, no, Isa, please don't. Stay with me. Don't leave me alone. I love you, she spat tearfully. I love you so much. She closed her eyes and pushed. She remembered where the heart was located from one of her father's old books. Abel was too slow to catch her falling body. He knelt beside her and sobbed for a time. He was not a strong young man anymore, but Isa's body was light. He would take her out to the water. She had always loved the water. But then what? Read? Read until it found him? No, he couldn't feel like reading anymore. He was ready to be rid of the entire cursed island, books and all. He would simply wander, aimlessly and freely, to take one last look at the island and feel the wind blowing the memories away. And then, when nightfall, he would return. And wait. Not gonna lie, I got goosebumps at the end there. Not gonna lie. Whew. Okay. Yeah. I get the positive reviews, honestly. That was neat. I'm assuming we're done here. Are we done here? Am I still in control? Oh, I am still in control. Fuck, never mind. I'll save my spiel for a little bit later. We'll keep walking. Morning dawned on the empty island, cold and bright and windy. The moon sliver. Created by Daniel... I'm sorry. Some cool shit from Freesound. Some cool textures from DeviantArt. Also, it used Unity because it's a sub £1 game on Steam, so of course it used Unity. Unity or RPG Maker anyway, those are your two options. The end. Anyway, that was a fun little one-off experience. I appreciate that game. I do. I really do. As I say, it doesn't take a lot for a walking simulator to... Let me rephrase that. It does take a lot for a walking simulator to really push out of that zone of just being a here, go wander around for a bit. It's a non-game. I think this one was just really well written, honestly. It didn't really have any fancy mechanics or like anything that really sets it apart from those other more basic bitch walking simulators, but it did have a nice little story. And a nice little mystery that kept me guessing and successfully misled me. So yeah, thumbs up from me on that one. If you enjoyed watching me play it and think you're far cooler than me and can speedrun this shit in 20 minutes, because you probably can, then by all means go support the developer. Please support the developer, and pick up the game for yourself. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. But know that I'm judging you. I've got other games I'm going to be playing. They're going to be fun, and we're going to have a great time with them. So stick around, and we'll do that. Otherwise, bye. Yeah. Yeah. Bye. Bye. Why can't I make a clicking noise?